coach John Gruden get a pass for the Raiders' struggles?
Oh, wow, Acho. I'm not liking your spirit already. Former New York Times bestseller. Can you imagine if somebody sunned you like that? Like, really wanted to dismiss your accomplishments like that? No, he doesn't need a pass, and no, you shouldn't even be talking about a pass. This is an Acho question. This is a creative control Acho putting it. Let me add this ingredient to this conversation. This is almost insane, but I'm going to answer it because I got respect for you, big dog. He's on his third year in a 10-year contract. Acho, trivia. How many other coaches have 10-year contracts? How many other coaches have that much runway? Oh, so if they have a different calendar, most other coaches, we have to look at them with our criticism differently. He has no pass because he owns all of the landscape he needs, the freedom to roam, the freedom to coach, the freedom to be John Gruden and do what John Gruden does, which is bring Super Bowl aspirations to a franchise. It's coming. Let me tell you why it's coming. First year, they won 4 games. Second year, they won 7 games. This year, they've already won 7 games with 2 games to go. So potentially 4, 7, 9. Creeping towards success. You got to respect that this is a team that in their offensive scoring went from 28th, 24th to 11th. You see where this arrow is pointing and everything I'm talking about? Up. Why would you now want to put in a position where, enough of John Gruden. He hasn't made the playoffs. Oh, they haven't made the playoffs? When the last time the Raiders made the playoffs? Oh, in the 15 years prior to Gruden coming back? Only one team was worse. Guess what team that was? Cleveland Doo-Doo Browns. And then the Raiders. And then now all of a sudden, they're not in that conversation. Acho, I'm going to let you talk because I don't understand the question. Why would you even think John Gruden needs some pass?
Marcellus, 3 rights make a left, but 2 wrongs do not make a right, sir.
Okay.
Take your time.
I ain't said nothing wrong yet.
Right,
so
right, you did. The 2 wrongs are very simple.
Go.
The contract was wrong, and keeping John Gruden much longer would be wrong.
Oh.
That's because 3 rights make a left don't mean 2 wrongs need to make a right, sir.
How, Sway?
The contract has been the reason in which you're saying John Gruden should get a pass.
I said more than that contract.
You did, but the only thing worth noting is the contract. The fact of the matter is, I don't always like comps, Marcellus. Sometimes comps don't make sense.
You must not own a home.
It's apples to oranges. Sometimes it's Apple to Android. Comps don't always make sense, big dog, but every now and then they do. Because there was a coach before John Gruden coaching the same team for the same amount of time. Then John Gruden took over for that coach and has coached the Raiders now for the same amount of time.
Don't talk about my dog.
Del Rio.
That's my dog.
Oh, good.
You know I'm going to talk good about Jack.
He should be. So let's look at the full screen. Let's look at Jack Del Rio's 3 years. Let's look at John Gruden's 3 years. Marcellus, you're going to like this one.
I love
Jack Del Rio, he was 25 and 23 in his 3 years. John Gruden, that's say 18 and 28. Jack Del Rio, he had the 15th ranked offense, but Guru John Gruden had the 17th ranked offense over his 3 years. Jack Del Rio, 25th ranked defense, not good. You want to know who was worse? John Gruden. He was worse than Jack Del Rio. Marcellus Wiley, these are comps. And these aren't comps from Compton to West Hollywood. Like, these aren't comps from Sherman Oaks to Inglewood. Like, these is comps from next door neighbors. Y'all in the same neighborhood. I'm looking at the exact same situation, big dog. And John Gruden, you came and took over for Jack Del Rio to get better. How have you, in the same amount of time, gotten worse? You said, when's the last time the Las Vegas Raiders, formerly the Oakland Raiders, had made the playoffs? Only Jack Del Rio's second year as a head coach when they were 12 and 4. John Gruden, what he got to show for it, big dog? I'll wait.
Oh, wow.
Not 10 years, though. I won't wait that long.
I will use, first of all, you should be into comps. You say you're not into comps, then you show me a comp, but you're not into... Are you into them or not?
I'm into apple-to-apple comps. I'm not into apple-to-pomegranate comps.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you.
All right, look, get into comps. Stop renting and start buying. Okay, get into your comps. All right, here's the thing. You made the error that you said that I made in terms of showing me some comps. It was wrong to fire Jack Del Rio. I said that at the time. But now you want to double up on the wrong and fire now John Gruden because, hey, you're not doing better than Jack Del Rio, so why should I keep you? What sense would that make if you're Mark Davis in that situation? No, you can't go there, Acho. You got to look at not just the numbers, offensive production. And look, the Guru, you keep talking about 17th. I'm talking about that they're 11th in total offense the last 2 years. And I said 11th in scoring offense this year. But it's not even about how the offense is looking and how he's putting his fingerprints on this situation. It's about simple things. Like, we can get complex, we can get full screens and all this. Sometimes it's just this simple. There's one team this year that's unbeatable. Oh, they're not unbeatable. You know why? Who beat them? The Raiders. The Raiders were the only team that were able to unlock whatever Kansas City unfolds on every single game day on the teams. Now, in both games, the Raiders were in contention. One game, they actually beat the Chiefs. That's a positive for a team that you have to remember. Judge a man by the distance traveled. Okay. Judge this team by the distance traveled. They are actually exceeding expectations early part of this season with the big wins that they had. Everyone's like, yo, the Raiders are weird, but good. They showed us a high ceiling. What separates good from great is consistency. That's real. So this is a life issue that I think that separates you and I. I have 4 kids. You have how many?
None, sir.
Okay. So you don't have an experience like this. I took MJ to tennis practice. I hate saying lessons because I ain't grow up with no damn lessons. This boy ain't that bougie. He got tennis practice. And I say, if you ever tell somebody you got tennis lessons, we fight and we go into Compton. All right, so he has tennis practice, right? He's over there doing tennis practice, and I swear, Acho, for moments, you could look in flashes of greatness. Bop, bop. I mean, a little Federer out there, about 5 shots. The other 500 went right by him. He missed them completely, right? The point is, that's the Raiders. When you exceed expectations, people start to already reset them. But go back to the starting point of what this Raiders team was supposed to be. Were we really going into the season saying 9 wins? I don't think we were. But we were surprised, and then we changed the expectations. Since they show flashes of greatness and brilliance, let's not forget what separates good from great is just that same consistency.
I respect your take, but you made one fatal flaw, sir. You said judge a man by the distance travel?
Yeah.
Judge a man by the distance travel. The beautiful part of linear axis is you can travel both forwards and you can travel back.
I'm listening.
And I'm judging the Raiders by the distance traveled. The difference is they've traveled backwards. Marcellus, you've lost 4 out of your last 5 games. That one win you have in your last 5 games was against the New York Jets, worst team in football, one of the worst teams in the last 2 decades. Even against the New York Jets, it took you a miracle to the point of the world is debating whether or not the Jets tried to throw that game to get Trevor Lawrence. So you've won 1 game in your last 5 games against a team in which we're currently debating, did they try to throw the game? Now, make that make sense. I'm judging the Raiders by the distance traveled, but they just not traveling forward. Also, what do we know about these Chargers? We know they're going to blow a 1-point game.
Not always.
Not always.
Not always.
Not always.
Not the last couple weeks.
Over the last 2 years, the Chargers have lost 16
I heard the narrative.
One-possession games. It's in their DNA.
Okay.
How in God's name, Raiders, y'all gonna play a team that has lost 16 one-possession games? Y'all gonna play them to a one-possession game. And the one thing in which you know the Chargers are going to do death taxes and they gonna lose one-possession games, you let the Chargers beat you in a one-possession game. Marcellus, I can't make it make sense. You know what I can't make sense of this?
There you can. I can.
I can make it make sense like this. You tell me there are 9 active head coaches that have won a Super Bowl.
Yes.
Mike McCarthy, he won a Super Bowl. Acho, give this man some credit. But then I look and I say, wait a second. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl. His team is 4-8-1.
Oh, here we go. Now we're going to beat them.
Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. His team is, 4-9. Bill Belichick, he won a Super Bowl. And you can't talk bad about Bill Belichick because he's the greatest coach of all time. But his team is
we got to fire him right now, Acho style.
John Gruden won the Super Bowl. His team is 7-7. Oh, my God, Sal. You giving a whole bunch of coaches passes for winning Super Bowls, but I'm just trying to see, like, man, what has John Gruden done lately, Marcellus? Last 9 years, John Gruden has 2 playoff appearances and no wins. You have to make it make sense.
Hold on. Since 2002, we talked about it. They only made the playoffs once under Jack Del Rio. He shouldn't have been fired. He was. Now we're in a situation you're going to do it again? Why? It makes no sense. Acho, you beat me upside the head with Baker Mayfield talk in a positive way because of where he is, because of the organization, because of the lows and the lowly times. And that makes me grade Baker Mayfield on the curve. They should have graded Jack Del Rio on the curve, their mistake. But now you're going to make the same mistake and look at this situation the same? This is a slow-bake operation. The Raiders have been futile for a long time. When I played, the Raiders were a machine. Rich Gannon and the boys, they were coming at you. It's been a long time since then. I think when you get a 10-year contract, we're already saying the first 5 years, hey, that's gravy. Let's just be real about it, because that's why they gave him the contract.
Well, where they
are you
do
going to argue me,
big dog?
Where they do
where
that at?
They do that at? Like, in what world are you? Is anybody saying that it is a wise decision to give somebody a 10? You know what happens in 10 years?
Yeah.
Like the whole world, we're not even gonna be using Twitter and IG no more in 10 years. It's gonna be like some whole new apps, a whole new worlds. Like, I'm not saying that I'm gonna give any head coach 10 years just because a contract stipulates 10 years.
Well, that's a different conversation. Then you weren't here for that because you were at another network. So you should have had the conversation then. I didn't hear it. It didn't buzz. You didn't get much traction with it. Right now, it makes no sense to look at this situation and say, pull the ripcord. Let's get up out of here. Where do you even find substantial evidence? You see comps next to another coach who shouldn't have been fired. That's all I'm hearing.
Big Dog, I told you this yesterday. I said yesterday, what happened?
You don't like the team?
Nope, that's not it. Okay. Yesterday I told you, Chip Kelly got fired after 1 year in San Francisco. They ended up hiring Shanahan. Shanahan takes them to the Super Bowl. Steve Wilkes got fired 1 year after Arizona. They ended up hiring Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury and them looked pretty good. Freddie Kitchens got fired 1 year in the Cleveland Browns. They hire Kevin Stefanski. You see what these Browns is doing right now. Don't extend and elongate a coach just for the sake of elongation. I'm going to end you like this, Big Dog. Baker Mayfield, the reason I'm so hype on Baker is simple.
You like him?
No, it's not even that. He went to my arch rival. Not even that. Not even that. Okay. Baker Mayfield's Browns haven't won 11 games.